Hey guys, this is Longhorn Arrow. I'm going to be fighting Corvus Glaive. I'm going to be using my regular teams. The only difference is going to be that I'm going to be using ignore dodge, or I'm going to be using 3 ignore dodge strikers, plus Phil Coulson, and so Phil Coulson and Sharon Rogers may get swapped out depending on the team, but the other 3 dodge ignores are going to stay in. So I'm going to hit my 1-star, or I'm sorry, hit my 5-star, and then immediately hit the 1-star, then the 6-star, and then 1-star, 5 stars, 1-star, 6-star, in that order. I'll hit the co-op whenever it's available. The best chance for success is to get the first 2 phases done in a minute each, leaving you 3 minutes for the final 3rd phase. So I like to personally get it done in 45 seconds if I can, the first 2 phases, because some of the teams can have a little bit of trouble even in the 3rd phase, even with 3 minutes in the 3rd phase. So basically with Team Pim, you just got to hit your skills before Corvus even has a chance to for his attack to even really begin. So while the red indicator is there, but before the attack is started, that's when you've got to hit the skill. So it's pretty much just constant attacking, but because you're using 3 of Ant-Man skills, you can do them back to back, provided you have a skill cooldown ISO set, which I do. I've got Smart Raccoon on him, or that you have increased his cooldown in some way. If you should happen to get caught with that stabbing attack that he does, just hit your co-op button, and the other characters will come in and attack him, and that'll break you free of it. For the 3rd phase, try to stay up at the top of the map as much as possible. That limits the area that Corvus is able to attack, and gives you more area to run away and avoid if necessary. So you just do your best to try to keep him engaged up here. It makes those attacks much smaller, easier to avoid. Make sure you're using your co-op button a lot during this phase, because you need those dodge ignore strikers to do a lot. Basically, you've got to let the odds work in your favor. The more attacks you bring, the more chances you have of hitting him despite his constant dodging. Again, try not to give him even enough time to implement his attack. Sometimes that's not always the easiest thing to do. But with Ant-Man, you can usually do it successfully. Keep an eye on your Ant-Man's health. If it starts to get low, switch to Giant Man for a little while. Use Giant Man's 5-star. Then switch to Yellow Jacket for a little while. Use his 1 and 3-star. And then switch back to Ant-Man when you get a chance. So Corvus is sort of moving down the map a little bit. It's not too big of a deal since since I'm pretty close to beating him. But if there was more time left in this, I would definitely want to try to draw him back up to the top of the map. There you go. Next team is going to be Captain Cubed. It's going to be the exact same strikers, except Sharon Rogers is going to be switched out for Hyperion. This, if everything goes well, this should be a quick match. Sharon Rogers should take care of Corvus pretty easily. It's not nearly as much strategy required when you're using T2 Sharon Rogers. However, if you do get caught by the stabbing attack, same thing. Hit the co-op. If you're bleeding, depending on how well your health is doing, you may need to switch to Captain America for a short while. Captain America's the better choice because of his amazing defense and high damage immunity. But if you have to switch to Captain Marvel, that's not a bad thing either. Just make sure you hit your 6-star to give her some speed and dodge boost, and then mainly use her. I guess it's the 5-star, the one where she throws the ball of energy. But honestly, you really shouldn't have too much trouble using Sharon Rogers anyway. I've tried beating Corvus with Sharon Rogers without the dodge ignores, and I fail, even with T2 Sharon Rogers. So the dodge ignores are extremely important. Without them, it doesn't matter how strong the character's attacks are, they're not going to land because he's going to be dodging so much. So there, I did it in under a minute with the animations. It was probably somewhere around 45 seconds or so. Maybe not that low, but pretty low. Next team is my Carnage team. So this will be the first time I'm using T2 Carnage. But I had plenty of success before with just the regular Tier 1 Carnage. So should be even faster now. Should be even more lopsided than before. Carnage used to handle them easily. I did have to switch characters, periodically to avoid Carnage bleeding too much. But then as soon as I had a chance, I switched right back. Same strikers as before. Dodge ignores, Coulson, and Sharon Rogers. So, like I said, because Carnage is Tier 2 now, I think this may be a pretty fast one as well. We'll see. It might be as fast as the Sharon Rogers battle. Might not be that fast. I'm going to use the 6-star, step away, hit the 5-star, 6-star again, step back, oh, got him already, 6-star, step away, hit the 5-star, 6-star, step away, 5-star, 6-star. Same thing, move up to the top of the map, draw him into up here. Now you'll have to avoid his attacks a lot more if you have tier 1 Carnage. Just make sure you're stepping in between the red lines or sidestepping them, moving to the opposite side. Don't move in until they're done. Hit your 3-star. I'd say every third attack, hit your 3-star to get some recovery, just so you don't even get into any kind of trouble. So this is going much faster than it used to with the tier 1 Carnage. I would say I probably would finish before with maybe 30 seconds left. On occasion, I would just cut it, be right down to the wire. So tier 2 Carnage is definitely making a big difference, and I'm glad I tier 2'd him, and I highly recommend you do too. Yep, that was the fastest I've ever beat Corvus with Carnage, so well worth the use of the tier 2 ticket. Next team is Loki team. So despite Loki being so good at beating world bosses, I was not able to beat Corvus with Loki for a really long time. Normally I don't use Ronin with Loki because I don't feel he's necessary. However, he is necessary against Corvus. So this Loki team is just a little bit different than the one I normally use. Normally I'd be using Black Bolt and Lash with him, Black Bolt as a leader. Instead I'm using Ronin for the 36% buff on both attack and defense, then Red Skull for the additional all attack, and the cooldown boost buff doesn't matter too much for me because my Loki's cooldown is already low. Same 3 dodge ignores. Now instead of Coulson and the damage increase striker, I'm going to use 2 damage increase reducers. Couple of reasons for that. First of all, I do want to reduce the damage that I take, because even with Loki's shield, previously I was having a hard time getting him to survive, and even when I did survive, I would run out of time. So Carnage and Yellow Jacket are great strikers for Loki, so they're going to show up a lot. I know I say this in every video, but that really is important. This one, well, I guess with the addition of T2 Carnage, this may go faster than it usually does for me, but it's not going to be as fast as the previous fights, that's for sure. I will have to dodge these attacks more. As you see there, I was about to get stabbed there, and I hit the co-op, and so he was not able to start stabbing me. If you don't have the co-op skill ready yet, don't worry about it. You probably will survive the bleeding or the stabbing, but you may want to switch to one of your other characters for just a few seconds to stop Loki's bleeding, and then switch back at your first chance. Just make sure your shield is always up. Use your 5-star as often as you can. I recommend highly, don't be directly behind the clones or directly in front of the clones. Try to get 90 degrees to them. Try to sort around Corvus a lot, sort of sneak up behind him before you hit your other skills. I would not use the 2-star skill, but the other skills are all good ones to use. 2-star skill is not going to do anything to him anyway. It's cold damage. a cold attack, whatever you call it, it's not gonna freeze him. No world bosses are gonna get frozen. They all have high immunity to elemental damages. Okay, same thing as before. Stay up at the top. Even more important for Loki and the next team, because you will have to evade a lot more. Sidestep the lines. If you get caught a few times, as long as your shield is up, you should be okay. Step outside of the ring. Try to bring him back up to the top when you can. Let your clones do the work, but come up to the top to bring him back up here and reduce the area that he can attack you in. Sidestep. Let the clones do the work. Right here, hit the 5-star. I hit the wrong button. Hit the co-op to break that stabbing. He's moving down toward the, moving down to the bottom, so try to bring him back up like that. Shield up. Clones. Circle around. Back up there. 5-star. Move out of the way. Sneak up behind him. 1-star. 5-star. Shield. Clones while he's doing that. Avoid that fire. Shield. Co-op. Try to bring him back up to the top. If you start getting low on health like I am right now, don't panic. Just make sure your shield is up. Make sure your clones are active. Maybe pull back a little bit on using the other skills, because you're going to be stuck in one spot, and which will make you vulnerable. Just keep calling your clones and your shield. If you get really worried, I would definitely switch to Ronin. Attack a few times with Ronin, hit the co-op skill with Ronin, and then at the first opportunity, bring Loki back in to finish it off. I don't know if I'm going to make it. Damn it. Okay. So I need to put a little more pressure on him. Need to try to shorten those first two phases a little bit. So I'm gonna put the pressure in the first two phases, and we'll only put additional pressure in the third phase if I have to. But I'm gonna make that decision a lot earlier this time. If I get to 30 seconds left, and I don't feel like his HP is low enough, I'm gonna start attacking hard. But first, I'm going to try to reduce the first two phases more. So that probably means I'm going to take more damage. I'm going to bleed a little more. I'm going to go into the third phase with less health than I did before. But it's okay. I'm accepting that trade-off. Okay, so we got just over 3.5 minutes left for phase 3. So now I am going to be more aggressive, but not at the risk of Loki dying. So if I get in trouble, if I take any kind of damage that starts making Loki bleed, I'm going to switch to Ronin. The nice thing about Ronin is he's got high ignore dodge already, so he makes a good character to attack with. However, he only has, he doesn't have the clones to be doing some of the work for him. So you lose a little of the damage you're doing on him, but still not a bad trade-off. So I still got more than half of my HP. I need to bring him back up here again. So I'm going to switch now. Switch to Ronin. Co-op. 6-star. Switch to Red Skull to save Ronin. Back to Loki. So, come on, get out of there. So now I'm so low, I've got to protect Loki. Which just means evading, using the clones, trying not to get so close that I put myself in danger. But with about 2 minutes left, I think I should be good. Try to draw him back up to the top. Always make sure your shield is up, even if it means you have to interrupt one of your skills that you were trying to use. Damn it. Alright, I gotta think about what I'm doing wrong here. So I'm gonna take a quick break. Look at my characters. And you'll never know I was gone. So I'm gonna make a quick change to the main team. I'm gonna have Phil Coulson instead of Red Skull. Other than that, it's going to be the same team. Sorry, it's considerably later now, so I'm trying to be quiet so I don't disturb my wife. Switched out real quick to stop the bleeding. Call Melinda May and Captain America. Move up to the top of the map. So the key difference there was using Phil Coulson. I should have done that to begin with. Uh, even though the bonus is slightly better with Red Skull, my Phil Coulson is much better geared and much more maxed than my Red Skull is. So my Red Skull is just too weak. Final team is going to be Star-Lord, Sister Grimm, and Thrut. The ignore dodges and increase damage strikers. Sister Grimm is very squishy, so you gotta pull her out anytime she starts eating. But with Thrut's T2 passive heal, she is much more survivable than she used to be. She has great ignore dodge and defensive penetration. Use her 5-star, then her 1-star. You see I kind of circle around, don't get too close. Let her clones keep him occupied. When you get a chance, use the 6-star. Use the standard X button as well. Just keep your distance. Switched her out just in time there. And get the last bit with the Groot. Come up here. Heal her. Just let her heal. That's probably going to get cut short. Yep. So I'm going to call in Star-Lord first. lost Sister Grimm. Hopefully that's not going to cost me. Star-Lord has excellent ignore dodge, so he may still be able to pull it off. Getting the double heal here, call in Star-Lord, get him a really nice heal there. There you go, 5 of 5. Star-Lord took care of the last 50%, I think, of Corvus's third phase. Hope you enjoyed it.